Have you ever wondered what could happen if the Sopranos universe expanded? Today, we're exploring 7 amazing spin-off ideas. Meadow as a mob lawyer, Tony's rise in the Jersey Mafia, Carmella searching for Furio in Italy, Phil and Butchie in the 60s, Phil's time in the can, Paulie Walnuts chasing ghosts, and Slava and Valery's military to mob transition. Intrigued? Stick around to dive into these stories. Have you ever imagined what life after the mob would look like for our beloved Paulie Walnuts? Well, here's a wild spin-off idea. Spectral Silver Walnuts. Imagine him leaving his mob days behind, sort of, and chasing ghosts, demons, and even Bigfoot around the tri-state area.
Satanic black magic. Sick shit.
Retirement's never been this supernatural, or this hilariously haunted as Goodfellas meets The Exorcist in this ghost-busting saga. Each episode kicks off with a spooky call for help.
So you're not gonna survive this unless you give me 25% of that $1 million.
Enter Paulie, silver hair shining, armed with a crucifix, garlic, and whatever ghost-fighting gear he could find in his Cadillac. Despite his mix of half-remembered ghost lore and wildly inaccurate myths, Paulie's ready to face the paranormal, with more brawn than brains. The ultimate goal for Paulie amidst his various spectral escapades is to solve the enigmatic 3 o'clock mystery that has haunted him since his mob days.
Tell Tony and Paulie, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
His ghostly quests are further complicated by the persistent haunting of Mikey's ghost, who taunts him incessantly, asking, "Does it still itch?"
He wants to know if it still itches.
For me.
Adding a personal and tormenting twist to his paranormal investigations. Imagine Paulie barging into haunted houses, shouting at ghosts, and tossing furniture around when he gets frustrated.
Quiz!
And adding a touch of Sopranos humor, a cat that suspiciously looks like a reincarnated Christopher roams the scenes, giving side-eye and adding to the chaos.
You see this shit?
Most episodes end with Paulie deciding that the best way to clear the House of Spirits is to set it on fire, leading to some fiery accidents. Surprisingly, the homeowners aren't too upset.
How the do you know that?
They're just happy to cash in on the insurance. It's a hilarious mix of ghost hunting with a Sopranos twist, where Paulie Walnuts tackles the paranormal world in the most entertaining way possible.
I should have had immunity to all of this shit. I should have been covered by my donations.
How can you not love the idea of our favorite tough guy battling ghosts with his own quirky methods?
Hell is hot. That's never been disputed by anybody. You didn't go to hell.
Imagine Meadow Soprano turning her back on the straight and narrow to become a mob lawyer in a world her father once dominated. Think about it. Meadow, played by the ever-charming Jamie Lynn Sigler, weaving through the legal system, armed with her soprano wits and a solid degree, blurring the lines between family loyalty and the law.
Are you in the Mafia?
Am I in the what?
Let's not leave AJ out. Our very own Fredo stumbling around trying to earn his stripes in a world that can't decide if he belongs. Picture Janice, ever the schemer, stirring the pot with one harebrained scheme after another, bringing chaos and laughs in equal measure. Adding a touch of nostalgia, each episode has Meadow struggling to park her car, a cheeky nod to her iconic parking challenges from the original series. But the real twist comes when Meadow, shaped by the harrowing end of Tony, pivots from defending mobsters to prosecuting them, wrestling with themes of loyalty, justice, and the inevitable pull of family ties.
If I hadn't seen you dragged away all those times by the FBI, then I'd probably be a boring suburban doctor.
Why didn't they ever make this show? Maybe it was too real, or maybe they just couldn't find a good parking spot for such a brilliant idea. This spin-off would have had us riveted, offering a fresh perspective while tugging at our nostalgia for the original Sopranos saga. Imagine if Phil Leotardo traded his mob suit for a prison jumpsuit in his own spin-off, Compromise! Picture Phil, the no-compromise tough guy, thrown into the slammer, forced to navigate the shark-infested waters of prison politics.
I did 20 fucking years.
It's not just about who gets the last slice of gabagool anymore. It's about survival among the most cunning. The series, envisioned to last for at least 20 seasons, would delve into Phil's daily life inside the penitentiary. We'll see him grilling cheese on the radiator and refusing to join the Aryan Brotherhood, despite their mistaken belief that he was the Shah of Iran. a mighty figure they desperately want in their ranks.
You know that fat says I look like the Shah of Iran?
Who does? Tony.
His main focus remains surviving in the can, turning down offers from the feds for a reduced sentence, no matter the personal cost.
I wanted a woman, but I compromised. I jacked off in a tissue.
Throughout the show, we'll witness intense and comedic moments, such as Phil's brother Billy visiting him.
Your brother Billy, whatever happened there?
All right, then. Whatever happened there?
The shooting.
The show promises a perfect mix of dark humor and intense drama, as Phil mediates trivial prison disputes with the same gravity as mob turf wars.
I gotta try and take a shit.
Think Phil in therapy, trying to find his inner zen, juxtaposed against flashbacks of his ruthless mob days. It's the fish-out-of-water story we never knew we needed, placing our favorite villain in situations where his usual tactics are about as useful as a fork in a sugar bowl.
Phil, you know the one makes you emotional.
Because I got an empty stomach. So I have a breadstick.
While we can only dream about such a show, it's a hilarious thought how Phil might adapt, or fail to adapt, to life behind bars.
No more Butchie. No more of this.
Here's a spin-off that could have been a smash. Chasing Furio. Picture this. Carmela Soprano, heels deep in Italy, hunting down her old flame, Furio.
Non te preoccupa.
You know, the guy with the mop top and that killer Italian charm that even made Tony sweat a little. Chasing Furio would blend rom-com antics with suspense as Carmella scours from Amalfi's citrus groves to Naples' cobbled streets, chasing down leads on Furio. Back in Jersey, the Sopranos aren't sitting quiet. AJ's taken over the pork store but can't decide if he's better at selling sausages or staying afloat in the family pool. As for Tony, he's chatting up a storm with a ghost therapist because, in Jersey, even the afterlife's in therapy. Each episode would offer Carmella's misadventures intertwined with snippets back home, keeping the classic Sopranos vibe alive, humor, drama, and a dash of existential dread. Will Carmella find Furio, or just some olives in the dirt?
Growing olives. My hands in the dirt.
Chasing Furios could have been a charming chase through Italy with our favorite mob wife leading the way. What a ride it could have been, huh?
No bitch to me.
The scene is 1995, amid the tumultuous days of the First Russo-Chechen War. As night descends on the rugged terrains of Chechnya, we zoom in on Slava, a young and gritty platoon sergeant. His world is thrown into chaos when his outpost is suddenly overrun and decimated by Chechen insurgents. Enter Valery, one of Russia's best operators. He's tough, he's taciturn, and he's not here to play games. Valery is dispatched as part of an elite unit tasked with retaking Slava's fallen outpost.
In Chechnya, he saves my life.
The mission is perilous, the kind where every step could be your last, and it's here that Valery's and Slava's paths fatefully cross. Surviving this nightmarish ordeal, Slava and Valery form an unbreakable bond, forged in the fires of warfare and hardened by a shared ruthlessness.
I would do anything for him.
As the war winds down, they find themselves questioning what life holds for soldiers bred for battle, but left without a war to fight. This question marks the beginning of their transition to a different kind of battlefield, the shadowy world of organized crime. They soon find their new calling, not in service of their country, but in the lucrative and lethal realms of the mob.
Better not be any rubles in there.
Imagine episodes filled with flashbacks of that fateful night in Chechnya, interspersed with their early days in the mob, laying down the law with a distinctly military efficiency. And of course, it wouldn't be a Sopranos spin-off without a sprinkle of dark humor. Picture Slava, the ever-serious strategist, getting endlessly frustrated by American idioms, while Valery's inexplicable obsession with pine cones, a nod to that infamous episode, becomes a recurring gag.
He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator. His house looked like shit.
This spin-off would not only expand the universe of The Sopranos, but also delve deeper into the complex psyche of these characters, exploring themes of loyalty, power, and survival.
Who is? KGB. Open up.
Let's dive into an imaginary spin-off, Young Guns of Little Italy, featuring the early days of Phil Leotardo and Butchie in the bustling 60s New York.
Listen, kid. When this is over, we're gonna sit down. Me and you.
Picture Phil and Butchie as reckless teens hustling in the mob world. Think Goodfellas, but focused on their risky friendship.
Now, what are you talking about?
As our boys mature, they become made men. Phil, always playing by the rules, rises first, causing a bit of envy in the spontaneous Butchie.
I'm embarrassed.
This sets a subtle tension between them, keeping us on edge. Will their bond endure or fracture? Imagine a climax where Phil lands in prison to save Butchie, adding layers of complexity to their relationship, revealed through intense dialogues and glares.
It's gone too far. Phil, I don't know, it's changed.
Years later, Butchie's betrayal in the series would be a heart-wrenching turn, with roots deep in their past. This spin-off would blend The Godfather, like grandeur with intimate dramas, enriching Butchie's actions in The Sopranos, and offering new insights into the themes of loyalty and betrayal. Too bad it's only in our imaginations. Maybe it was even too much for HBO to handle.
Uncle Philly, my ass.
Soprano Origins is a prequel that dives deep into Tony Soprano's rise through the ranks of the Jersey Mafia, respecting the legacy while adding a fresh twist. Let's kick off with a younger, less jaded Tony orchestrating the infamous Fich La Mana card game heist, setting the stage for Jackie Sr.'s rise as acting boss. Now, imagine the young crew, including Tony, maneuvering through mob politics and personal vendettas, all while trying to keep their shoes dry. Because in our book, you get points for staying out of the can, right?
In my book, you get points for staying out of the can.
Michael Gandolfini would step back into his dad's shoes, smoothing out any rough edges left by the many saints of Newark, presenting a Tony thrust into the underworld, with Dickie Moltisanti guiding him towards his eventual Queen of Hearts, Carmella.
Carmella, you got a dime?
This series would offer a deeper exploration of these iconic characters, giving us a fresh yet familiar look into what shaped Tony Soprano. So why hasn't this hit the screens yet? Maybe the scripts and stars haven't aligned just yet. Or maybe in another universe, we're already hooked on it, chatting about the dramatic season finale. Until then, let's keep dreaming and discussing. After all, maybe HBO is tuning in. If you're as intrigued as we are by the blurred lines between fiction and reality in the mob world, then you won't want to miss our full video on the Sopranos actors turned criminals in real life. Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay wise and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.